Alright guys, I want to do a little different video today. Hopefully you guys can hear me. Just a little talking video, a little conversation. Something I wanted to, I don't know, make a little video about. I don't know how many of you will be interested, but I just want to make it anyway. I was supposed to be on my way to my truck. My kid got sick. I had to stay home for that. Now I just got to go do some work, but the truck is still standing. But what I wanted to talk about was I've seen multiple videos, and it's happened to me almost 2 times, and people around me. I know how people, even myself, I'll just get right into it. If we know what full coverage on a car is, and what just having collision or just comprehensive, or what full coverage means. So I just wanted to, if that's not something you'll be interested in, you know, you can click away. But I don't know why, I just wanted to make a video on this. So what full coverage means on a car or on a truck is if anybody's driving down the road, like I say you or me, let's say Billy Bob is driving down the road and he gets in a car accident and he's at fault. Full coverage means that his insurance is going to pay for the person he hit's car and his car for the damages. So they're going to cover, that's what full coverage means. Pay for the person he hit and his car. And then let's say you have, what's that one called? I don't know, in my language we call it half insurance, or it just be pretty much you're not going to have coverage for yourself. I don't know the exact name, but it's pretty much not full coverage. It just means that if you're at fault in an accident, your insurance is all going to pay for the person you hit. You're not going to get paid for your damage on your car if you're at fault in an accident. And if you have that half insurance, insurance is going to pay for their car, not yours. So that pretty much means your expenses are going to be out of pocket. I think that's the only one. Then there's comprehensive. That's pretty much if, let's say your car is standing and a tree falls on your car, or let's say you have a hurricane in your state, or thunder, or whatever the case may be. What if the weather fault, or you know, if your car is standing and someone crashes into it, I think that'll be considered comprehensive. But you get the point. It's like a not a driving incident. You know, like you weren't in the car, or it didn't happen while you were driving, something like that. And that's comprehensive insurance. I don't know if that's mandatory. I think that one might be, but don't quote me on that. That's called comprehensive insurance, you know. That's also something you want to have. So what I wanted to get down to was a couple of examples that I have. So even for myself, like about 2 years ago, I had a car. I had a Volkswagen Jetta. I had just bought this pickup truck. I had a Volkswagen Jetta, and then I bought my wife a Mercedes. So we were using those two, and I was getting rid of the Volkswagen. That was something I worked out of that for a little bit after I quit the dealership. So pretty much I was selling it. Long story short, I was selling it. Some lady reached out to me. She said, I want to buy it. She said, can I bring a cashier's check? And I mean, at first I was kind of hesitant, but then I was like, okay, fine. Because I sold a BMW a few years ago for about $23,000 on a Saturday, you know, and the guy was trustworthy, and I gave him a cashier's check, and everything was all right. This lady, she came by, checked it out, walked around it once, took a little test drive, didn't ask much questions, you know, and that should have been a red flag right there, but it wasn't. My wife kept saying, I don't know, I have that bad a feeling about this. Then I asked for her ID, to show me a picture of her ID, take a picture of it, because that's what I usually like to do with cashier's checks, and even her picture didn't look like herself, but for some reason I still went through with it, you know. My wife's sitting in the back, she's like, oh, I don't know, she's kind of nudging me, like saying, you know, something's wrong here, and I just brushed it off, and I went through with it. And anyway, so I sold her the car. I put the cashier's check in my bank. The money shows up. I think on Saturday night I went and put it in the ATM because I was actually getting a little nervous. I mean, that doesn't tell you anything, but Tuesday money's there, Wednesday money's gone. I panic. I go to my bank. They say, well, that's not really on our part. It's on the part of the check where the check was from that bank. So I called them. They're like, oh, this account isn't even an existing account. Like, we don't know where you got this number. I'm like, so what do I do now? He's like, well, we can't do anything. It's not our account, not our check. just has our name on it. It doesn't say anything. So what it turned out to be was it was a fake check. I mean, I didn't know that people fake cashier's checks now, but I guess they do. That's also a lesson in this video. So pretty much what I did was I went and reported the car stolen. They asked me how it got stolen. You know, I mean, technically this wasn't really stolen since I kind of gave the car away. I kind of signed the title over. This was just, I mean, I don't want to call it hell, but this was a nightmare of a month. It was right around me and my wife's first Christmas together, first year married together. It was our first Christmas together. We went and got our first Christmas tree. Cut it down. You know, it was a nice day, and that was exactly when, after we got our first tree, December 3rd. I remember the exact day. December 3rd. What's it called? She came and got the car, and that was probably the worst day. Well, actually, no, I didn't find out until December 6th. So that was probably the worst day of my life. But anyway, before the car stolen, my cousin has a detective friend. They started talking. Anyway, I'm gonna skip a lot of. This is like a month later down the road. So what happened was, she put it up for sale. Some older couple bought the car. She sold it for a quick a quick flip, so it was cheaper. And so she just said that, oh, there's like a transmission issue or something. That's like, that's why I'm getting rid of it. And I was like, why didn't you guys ask her why the title, why there's a name that she bought it 3 days ago? She said, oh, she said that her uncle gave it to her as a gift and she just needed money or something like that, and they bought it anyway. So I was like, that's a red flag right there. I mean, I don't know why you guys want to go with it, but anyway, so she sold this older couple. Since it was reported stolen, the cops pulled them over. They said they almost put them on the ground. They thought they were stealing it, but then they said, like, look, we have all the legal documents, because they had already transferred it into their name. So they had to let them go since they had it legally. So at this point, I'm like, okay, I mean, there's no way really that I can get the car back. I'm out of luck, you know. I mean, it's not like, so I had to cope with the fact that they have my car legally, since they did have it legally even in my eyes, they had it legally because they bought it, they paid for it, they had the title in their name, so everything's legal on their part. So that was when I was like, I just lost all hope. I mean, I was like just kind of giving up, and this was like around New Year's. I had a detective start working. He called me. He's like, so we found the car, blah, blah, but we had to let it go. He's like, the only thing pretty much you can do is call the DMV and tell them that, you know, they messed up and they transferred the car when the car was reported stolen. I was like, that's kind of true. DMV did kind of let that slip, you know. I mean, the car was reported stolen, so it should have a red flag, and they still let the transfer go through. So anyway, fast forward a couple of days, he calls me. Max, did you have any progress with the DMV? And I'm like, no, just you know, still everything, the same things. Okay. He's like, I'll get to work and I'll see what I can do. And then he calls the next day. He's like, hey Max, this is early in the morning, like maybe 7 or 8. Hey Max, you want to get your car? I'm like, of course I do. So he went to their house. He gave me their address. We went and picked it up. I mean, it was a sad story. I mean, you know, those people had to hand over the car back that they paid for. So the guy took it into Volkswagen for like a. Anyway, so he took it to Volkswagen. I think he had an oil change done. He paid the registration, transferring his name. So it added up to be about, I don't know. He did an oil change, like I said. I don't know. It was around 700, like maybe 600, 700 bucks. I think I gave him $1,000 to cover his time, the transfer fee. I mean, I didn't really have to pay for the transfer fee because the registration was due, but there was also a transfer fee, all that. So I don't know. I felt kind of bad, so I just paid him $1,000. I mean, not the least I could do, but I mean, figured I could somehow try and help out. Anyway, that was a long story. That's not even the point of the video. Anyway, that was the story of my car. I got my car back, thank God. And then about maybe, oh no, this happened all in the middle of this. So while my car was gone, my wife on her Mercedes, so she was driving to work like at 6 in the morning, and she got into an accident. So she was merging onto the freeway or something like that, and people started. So I guess as she explained the story, she got cut off. She hit the person in front of her, and then some guy in the back of her hit her. And before all this went down, I called my insurance lady. I was like, hey, I have enough going on right now. I was like, I know I have half insurance on both my cars. Put my Mercedes full coverage. I was like, I'm just kind of scared as it is. Put on my Mercedes full coverage. And she said, oh no, it's expensive, blah, blah, blah. But I was like, just do it. I told her, I was like, do it. I was like, I don't care what it's gonna cost. I was like, I'm scared. I was like, I don't need any more problems. Just put my Mercedes full coverage. So we'll get everything figured out. The Mercedes would get it towed home, blah blah blah. I called her. I was like, hey, my wife got into a car accident, blah blah. So she hit someone in front of her. Someone cut her. So my wife said that woman that she cut off her and she hit in the back. She said she pulled over there. She said she got out of the car. Said, yeah, I cut her off, blah blah. I mean, I'm as long as everyone's okay, I gotta go. So that woman, you know, she left. So there was no evidence of her cutting my wife off. So pretty much my wife was at fault for the front and the dude was at fault for the back. I called my insurance. She's like, oh yeah, we're not gonna cover it. You don't have full coverage. I'm like, what do you mean? I told you to put full coverage on my vehicle. She's like, no, you didn't. I'm like, yes, I did. I did. And this was a time when I just quit Peterbilt. I mean, my wife just started her job. I mean, it wasn't the best time in my life, you know, let's say, I want to say financially. So it was a tough time for me, but, you know, thank God we got through it. So I ended up having to pay for the front myself, and back for the back, I got an estimate done, so the guy's insurance paid for the back. Thankfully, since I did the work myself, it almost added up to be I think I had to pay an extra $1,000 to fix the front. So the rear of the car almost paid for the front, except for, like I said, $1,000. Anyway, that was a long story getting to my point. Full coverage. Now, my most recent story is this: my Dodge. I was driving. For some odd reason, I decided to take maybe 2 months before this happened. I took it off of full coverage. I was driving. It was maybe May or June. It was like summer, and it was raining. It was the day that was raining. I was driving on a 2-lane highway. I was driving in the left lane. I was going maybe about 70, 72. And I know some of you guys might say, you know, since you guys did see a video of me on my phone or something like that, guys, I've been driving for a long time. I'd like to think I'm a good driver. I have a commercial license. You know, I have no accidents, thank God, no tickets, thank God. I wasn't on my phone. It was raining. I was going to pick up my driver from my truck. We were dropping it off at the dealer. I was driving 1 second. The next second, I see a woman's pulling up on a car on the right side lane. She's pulling up on a car, and I'm driving, and I just see this woman swerve into my lane, and figure it's wet. I tried braking, but I couldn't. You know, and I was driving like this. She was driving like this. And I'm pulling up on her, and she's pulling up on a car, so she swerves, no turn signal, nothing. And she just swerved into my lane, and what do you know? Bam. Long story short, again, that was my fault. The police officer made it my fault. I think they were friends, to be honest, because as soon as the cop pulled up, they started talking like they knew each other. So the police officer made it my fault. So check it out. My right side, her statement was she was established in her lane in 15 seconds, 20 seconds. And I rear-ended her. You know, I crapped to her and rear-ended her. I was like, why don't you look at the damage of my vehicle? My right side of my vehicle front is damaged, and your left side of your vehicle is damaged. How is that traveling 15, 20 seconds? I would hit you head on, right? If you were traveling 20 seconds establishing your lane, I would hit your head on, right? It wouldn't have been like this. So my insurance made it her fault. So my insurance didn't pay her a dime. So my insurance doesn't go up, you know. Anyway, long story short, my insurance made it her fault. The police made it my fault. Another thing is, my dad got rear-ended, you know. He had also half coverage. You know, he was driving to work. He has his own trucks. He works out of his nice Mercedes E-Class. Don't ask me why. For some reason he does. He was driving. He was at a stoplight. There was a car behind him and another car behind him. So I guess that third car hit the car in the middle, and the car in the middle hit my dad. So the car in the back that caused everything, she didn't have insurance. So the only thing that helped my dad out was the uninsured motorist thing, you know, and that paid him I don't know, I think it's like somewhere like $3,000, but doesn't really cover the damages. But that's another lesson right there, you know. Full coverage. You're not at fault, you still get paid. I mean, it's a little bit more expensive, but get this. I paid about for my Dodge, so I had to pay for my Dodge out of pocket. Her insurance didn't pay for it since the police made it my fault. So it's not like my insurance. I didn't have full coverage on this Dodge at the time, so my insurance wasn't gonna pay for it, even though they found her insurance at fault. So I paid out of pocket for the repair of my truck. It was probably like $3,500. Get this, I called my insurance. I'm like, hey guys, I want to turn my full coverage back on, blah blah. You know, I mean, this made me laugh. I don't know what I was thinking when I turned off, but it's $240 more, half a year, for full coverage on my Dodge Ram. $240. I saved $240 when I paid $3,500 out of pocket. I mean, do the math. I mean, sure, some insurance is gonna be different, some policies are different, everybody's driving records are different. It might be a little more, it might be a little less, but hey, it's not gonna be a significant. It's not usually gonna be like $1,000, $2,000 difference in half a year between full coverage and not full coverage. I mean, that's a lesson. I just came on here to, you know, at least try to relay some of my experiences, some of my things that happened to me personally. Try and put it as a lesson somehow to try and help some of you guys out, because it's not worth it, guys. It really is not. Full coverage is, you take it to a shop, they give you a nice estimate. Even if you're like, if you know what you're doing with cars, shoot, you get an estimate from an insurance company. Do the work yourself. You know, sometimes it even adds up to be a little more. You know, you get some money on top. I mean, not always, but if you want to do the work yourself, you know what to do with cars, you know. But that's just my experience, guys. I made a mistake with this Dodge. Definitely, as opposed to saving $200. I saved $200 in a half a year. I had to pay $3,500 out of pocket to do the repairs. I mean, thankfully, my insurance made her at fault, so my insurance doesn't go up, blah blah. But still, again, I had to pay for the expenses of fixing my own vehicle. So that wasn't fun. Like I said, that was like 2 examples I have, and a third one of my dad's. So it's just, I mean, once again, guys, it is really not worth it saving the couple bucks. Full coverage is probably the way to go. You never know. I mean, my thing for turning my Dodge Ram full coverage off was, I'm a good driver. I'll keep it on my wife's car. You know, you never know what could happen. I'm a good driver. I've been good to this day. But hey, as a good of a driver as anyone can be, you know, anything happens. You know, people say, you know, shit happens. So you never know what can happen. You never know who's gonna pop out in front of you. You never know who's gonna run out on the road for you. You never know. Like I said, it's completely out of your hands. I mean, obviously, if you don't rear end anybody, you'll be all right. But you never know if that person's gonna break suddenly. You never know what's gonna happen, guys. You know, life throws crazy things at us. You know, so I don't know if it's worth it, guys. So just, that's something for each and every one of you to think. Let me know what you guys think. I mean, sorry I came on here and did a little rant, but it was just something I wanted to make for a while. I think I saw another YouTube video. One of the guys I watched, he also had a recent thing happen to him. You know, he didn't have full coverage, and a car stopped in front of him, and he had to lock up his brakes, and he ran to his car. So that's another one, an example of why full coverage. And I mean, yeah, I made a mistake back then. I made a mistake this time too, of, you know, canceling my full coverage. So that's just a lesson for all of us. I just wanted to come on here and share with you guys. Hopefully you guys can learn from my mistakes. Hopefully this helped some of you guys out. Yeah, so that's gonna be the end of my video, guys. Like I said, leave it down in the comments below. I'm not pushing anything upon you guys, nothing like that. You know, I'm just trying to make a little video about, you know, my encounters and my lessons, and, you know, some of that happened to me. So let me know what you guys think. Okay, guys, thanks for watching. Sorry for the long video, long rant, but hopefully some of you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you guys in the next video.